Whew. I am the product of the intimate raising of a writer and a preacher. I'm a poet. I'm a poet. I love words. I'm a poet that loves words. I love people. I'm a poet that loves words and people. I love stories. I am a poet that loves words, that loves people, and that loves telling stories. I just choose to tell the stories in a bit creative way with fancy poetic pauses and whatnot. But this story that I share tonight is full of vulnerability because it's my story. At an early age, I hung out with my grandmother while my parents worked. Erika Roberts, my 4'11", size 5 shoe wearing granny, was a great cook, a great baker. She religiously worked the puzzle from the newspaper. She clipped coupons. She thrift shopped. She worked in her community. On the weekends and during the summer as a kid, I was with her. During those times, I saw firsthand the power of grassroots engagement through her connectivity within the community. Carried like whispers on the wind, passed down through heart and hand, from mouth to ears, the roots of love and strength endures, a legacy that is steady and pure. Erika Roberts, a social worker with a lifelong dedication to community, inspired me through her quiet acts of service and unwavering compassion. Every Saturday, like clockwork, without fail, I would go with my granny and my Aunt Daphne to the grocery store and flea market and farmer's market, where she taught me resourcefulness and the power of community connections. I remember watching my grandmother talk to the farmers and the vendors that were selling the corn and the greens and the tomatoes, because my grandmama was a tad bit simple. She liked a good tomato sandwich. I can remember hearing her talk to them and knowing that she's probably going to make a deal and she's bringing home some greens and some corn and tomatoes, and I'm probably going to be on the porch at 3700 Central Avenue, husking and silking them, praying to God that no worm jumps out to scare me. Granny chose to support local farmers and vendors and businesses. She shared her harvest with others. And if you were so blessed to get a pan of her light, cloudy, fluffy rolls better than Miss Schubert's, if you got a slice of her Arkansas pound cake, my goodness. If you got a nice frozen pack of Silver Queen corn, you can count yourself blessed. Those Saturday routines reflected her belief in saving and sharing, and she carried those values on, and they followed me into my life. Granny worked and retired from Chattanooga's Department of Human Services, where her work supported residents, helped them fill out applications for assistance using their jobs resources. She helped the community. Through these acts, she showed the impact of small gestures in creating a more connected community. Her influence on me has made me a more effective, engaging artist in marginalized communities. I'm certain that she had no clue back then of how sitting on the porch of her friend's house, hearing them exchange recipes and gossip and advice over a resource application, how that would possibly, in any kind of way, inform me. But I stand here as proof of that. I reflect on that time and those grassroots intentions. I see porch engagements. I hear meaningful conversations. I hear it all. And my granny listened. As I move in and out of community engagements, I use those same principles, meeting them in their place, sharing, listening, helping, being transparent, for this is the true carry on. Working as a creative strategist on the Westside Evolves process, I use the exact same principles. as we met in smaller groups with the community. I listened to the community as they shared their dreams on James and Henry Building. We listened to their stories of more unified time in the community. This is the same exact community that my grandmother lived in, that she worked in, that I too live in and now work in. That is the carry-on. Her legacy sparked my commitment to community work and shaped my artistic identity. I hope to carry her values on, not only in the community, but within my family. My grandsons, all under the age of 10, legend, lyric, legacy. They'll all hear about poetry, of course, but they'll hear about community. They'll hear about my grandmother as well. Legend is the oldest, and he's joined me in several meetings, and I've asked him questions that I would ask on surveys. His questions were a tad bit more creative than everybody else's, but it is what it is. I pray that I make an impact on them artistically and in ways of being better stewards of their community. Community work isn't just about service, it's about creating a pathway so that the future generations that benefit, they can just continue. Chattanooga's strong community spirit is evident, and it's carried through by small acts continuing the legacy of people like my grandmother. On October 21st, at 2:10 a.m., my beautiful grandmother, she transitioned. She lived a long life, 99 years. She saw her grandkids have kids. She saw her great-grandkids have kids. She saw a Black president. There is honor in having that type of legacy and that fullness and fruitfulness in life. Something that I'm processing and coming to terms with since her transition is that carrying on matters in ways not easily measured in real time. It's something that you begin to recognize over time. I pray that I leave something for my grandsons, the L's as I fondly call them, for they are my loves, my lessons, my littles. Something that they too can proudly carry on. Sadly, in my grandmother's dementia, she left without being completely aware of all the things that I was able to accomplish in her name. I pray that she can see it now and is pleased. Thank you, Erika Roberts, for each seed you've sown, for teaching us strength and legacy, and through us, your kindness will carry on each day. It is an honor to be your only granddaughter. As we think ahead and we sit here in this audience, there is a call to action, and it is. Think of a person in your life, someone that has had such a profound impact on your life. Use that person's impact as a lens to move forward. Allow that to build connections, to empower, to move the needle forward, especially in these times. This is the ultimate carry on.